All right, man, peace. So, brothers, this is going to be episode 1 in a series that I'm starting called Chronicles of Judah Puts R. Kelly's Accusers on Trial. Why am I doing this? It's not for the benefit of R. Kelly, nor for the detriment of his so-called accusers or the people who are rendering these allegations against him. It's for the benefit of many of you brothers out there who may find yourself in a precarious situation similar to this one. Because even though we look at the R. Kelly situation as this huge drama, this narrative that is being played out over the mainstream media, it can happen to you, where a former flame who feels jilted will go out of their way to try to embarrass you. So it's important that all of us make sure that we step very carefully. We all make mistakes. We've all made bad decisions in our lives. But we have to use situations like this as a lesson in what can potentially happen, especially when you're dealing with a modern day liberal female in an environment where they're being told that they can say and do whatever they want and execute some level of get back for things that occurred 20, 25, 30 years ago. So please keep in mind the level of vindictiveness of the woman, especially when she's left unchecked. Of course, this episode will feature Miss Lizette Martinez. They're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in. They're going to be put on trial.
My name is Lizette Martinez from Sunny Isles Beach, Florida. I was a typical teenager. I was at Aventura Mall with some girlfriends, and I see someone, a really tall guy, wearing sunglasses. So I said to my friend, "Oh, I think that's R. Kelly." And she's like, "Why would he be at the mall?" And I said, "No, that's him." And he heard me, and then...
So R. Kelly heard you say, "That's him." So clearly you were yelling that. You were not just speaking that within earshot of your friend. You were speaking that so that he could hear you because you were a fan. So you were trying to make sure that you could actualize whatever fantasy you'd had for R. Kelly throughout your life. And let's keep in mind that she was 17 when these original events started to transpire, according to her testimony. So the conversation should not revolve around legality.
And then he turned around, and I was kind of starstruck. You know, here's this person in front of me that I think is like the world. And
once again, you've been fantasizing about R. Kelly for many years.
And he walked up to me and gave me a hug, and I kind of I was kind of frozen.
You were frozen or you melted?
And then he said he was recording an album. I said, "Okay, nice to meet you," and he left. But then his bodyguard came back and handed me his phone number and said, "R. Kelly would like you to call him." My best friend was with me, and she said, "Liz, this is your big break. Like, you better call, or I'm going to call for you."
So in other words, your best friend acted as an enabler for you to initiate a relationship with R. Kelly. What did your mother think? Or what did your father think? Or did you not consult with them? You just consulted with your friend. And if you just consulted with your friend, why did you not consult with your mother? Unless you already knew that what you were doing was probably something that you should not have been doing.
For me, singing was always an outlet, and I planned on having a career. So I called.
So in other words, you were going to use R. Kelly and give him the vagina or whatever he wanted because you believed that he was going to assist you in ascending to superstardom.
I called, and he said, "Well, I'd like you to come to dinner with us."
Yeah, he'd like you to come, all right.
My girlfriend said, "Let's get your makeup and hair done now. You know, this is it, you're going to make it."
Wow, your girlfriend sounds kind of fast. I mean, goddamn. I understand what your dreams were because I saw the photos of you when you were around that age. You looked like you were trying to be the next Selena. Unfortunately for you, the only bitty bum bum that was going to get tapped was when R. Kelly hit you up. It wasn't going to be in the studio. Bitty bum bum.
We were so naive.
I agree. You guys were naive.
His bodyguard handed me his phone number and said R. Kelly would like you to call him. So we met him at the steakhouse. Came up that I was, an aspiring singer. Later on, we went to the recording studio, and my heart was thumping when I walked in.
Let me say this very quickly, brothers. All a professional singer is is a paid enchantress. Okay? That's why it warns you about a singer or a female involved in music when you read Ecclesiasticus, the 9th chapter. I believe it's in Ecclesiasticus, the 9th chapter, in the 5th verse, where it tells us, use not much the company of a woman that is a singer. Why is that? Because once again, that is an enchantress. The job of a singer is to permeate into your subconscious mind through chants or repetitive melodies to get you to do what she wants you to do or what he wants you to do.
And he starts to play the piano. He plays a song by Boyz II Men and asked me to sing along with it. And I couldn't believe it.
What was the song? Was it I'll Make Love to You Like You Want Me To? Was that what he was having you sing?
I mean, I'm sitting with R. Kelly. I'm 17, and he's right here singing.
Yeah, it's called groupie status. That's what you were, groupie status.
I just couldn't believe it. I don't even know what to say.
I don't think that he had you there to talk much. I think that he had you there to handle his business with you.
And then he just said that, I sounded really great. I had a great look.
Well, you did have a nice look. You looked a lot like that singer, Selena. That's why he's probably thinking about her when he bedded you down.
He thought I could make it.
To his bedroom.
And he was going to help me. And then he leaned over and kissed me.
Once again, ma'am, where is your mother or your father in this situation? Where are they located? Were they missing?
And I was really taken aback by that. I didn't know how to say no.
It's pretty easy. So one syllable word starts with an N, ends with an O. You say it in one smooth motion. I think that you did not know how to say no because you did not want to say no. You were so caught up in R. Kelly actualizing the fantasy that you'd always had about him, which is what you don't want to admit, and which is what many of these females who participated in this docuseries do not want to admit. It was a fantasy gone wrong. And I mentioned this in other videos, brothers. You have to be very wary of this. Whenever a female has a crush on you, what she's truly seeking out is the summation of her thrill ride programming. Almost all females are born with that thrill ride program. They love to embark on an adventure, and they want to see it all the way through. It's like a ride at an amusement park for them. They get on a roller coaster, and as it's nearing its end, they're no longer as excited. Once the roller coaster or the ride is coming to a stop, they're ready to get off and try the next ride. The reason why so many of these females are upset with R. Kelly is because he ended the ride prematurely. They were not ready to get off yet. That's really what they're mad about.
Robert, he's hard not to like.
That's interesting, because if you watch this 6-part miniseries, it seems as if he's Lucifer. But then again, I guess Lucifer is rather charming, or Luciferians can be rather charming. That's how they lure you in, because you're like a fly in his spider web.
It's hard not to like him.
You still feeling him to this day, ain't you? Brothers, once again, a lot of these broads that you watch in these little documentaries, they're upset because R. Kelly cut them off too quick for their liking.
I was at a party at his house, and I didn't drink, but his friend gave me some alcohol, so I was really like hazy. And I remember he took me up to the room. It was just a blur.
So let me get this straight. You said you didn't drink, but his friend gave you a drink. So how did the drink get down your throat? Did he grab you by the nose and squeeze it shut until you open your mouth and then he poured the drink down your throat? Or were you a child drinking underage at a party that you should not have been at? Which one is it?
He went back to the party and I just kind of passed out.
You kind of passed out. How do you do that? Did you pass out with one eye open?
It was my first sexual experience.
How did you remember? I thought you was passed out.
And I didn't think it would be that way.
Like what? It only lasted for one song?
Sex with him felt not natural.
So how did it feel? Supernatural? Well, you having sex with him and a ghost? Like, what's going on?
Visiting him, it was mainly about sex.
Well, since you knew that, then it was incumbent upon you to break it off. The reason why you did not break it off is because you were a young girl who was inexperienced, who had no business trying to live the fast life in the first place. Once again, from the very beginning, you only conferred with your friend. You never conferred with your mother or father, or at least not in your testimony did you ever confer with them before you decided to embark in a relationship with R. Kelly. He did not use you. He never once conducted himself in a way to make you think that you were something that you weren't. The reason why you were confused is because you had no idea what you were getting yourself into. That's as much your fault as it is his.
I felt like a sex object.
Because that's what you were.
You know, he would say, I still want to help you with your career. Music was my joy. So I felt like my dreams are going to come true. I just kind of like listened to him and said, okay, you know, and stay there by myself.
So to make a long story short, you were fucking R. Kelly with hopes that you were going to become a superstar, and it didn't work. That's a common theme in this series.
He would have people follow me because he told me as much. If you leave this hotel room or go anywhere, I have my boys following you, and I know everything that you're doing.
So in other words, he was being honest with you. You must have liked the surveillance because you stayed with him.
So I was very fearful. Wouldn't hear from him for days, and then he would come back, and it was just sex and abuse and mental and physical abuse.
Sex and mental and physical abuse. Did he stop you from leaving the apartment?
The first time he was physically abusive, I was 17, and I said hello to someone that I shouldn't have, or I was looking at someone that I shouldn't have been looking at.
Okay, so the real story was he caught you flirting with one of his bandmates or one of his backup dancers. That's what really happened.
You know, so he didn't like that.
Of course he ain't like that. You his in-house coochie. You haven't figured that out yet?
He took me outside and smacked me and said, like, you're only supposed to look at me. And I don't understand this.
You didn't understand the smack? So I guess that was your way of saying that you needed another smack? Smack is usually a universal language. A smack means he don't really respect you that much. If somebody smack you in the face and you're another grown person, that's normally a sign of disrespect. That means that it was time for you to leave if you did not want to continue to get smacked. That's what that means.
I just cried and said, okay.
You just cried and said, okay. So did he smack you again? And after that, did you say okay again? I mean, I'm having some trouble really trying to figure out exactly where your mind frame was at here. Oh, I know. It was, I'm going to continue to allow myself to get smacked until I get the recording contract. Then I can leave this bum ass nigga behind. But it didn't work.
And then I did that going forward as I didn't want to anger him or get hit.
So in other words, he properly trained you. That's really what you're saying, is that after he smacked you and you agreed to that new contract or that new aspect of the relationship that you were going to receive the slapping, he took that as an affirmative that was one of your primary lessons that you accepted. So that was part of your programming.
When did you find out that he was married?
Maybe a year after they were married.
So damn, he was hitting you up for a whole year and you had no idea that he was married, huh? But you know why you did not really know that he was married? Because it never really mattered. You were not trying to be his only woman or even his main woman. You were trying to get the recording contract. Once again, you never got it. That's why you're mad as hell. Sitting here looking like Jennifer Lopez's washed up cousin.
I never knew. Never said anything. My best friend said she heard it on the radio.
Oh, the same best friend that was pimping you out to R. Kelly. That best friend?
And I was like in shock. We never spoke of the marriage. He never told me about the marriage.
Why the hell would he tell you about the marriage for? Are you a marriage counselor? This shit is so ridiculous. You know, these broads I would say that they all deserve Oscars, but they're also terrible actresses. So I'm not quite sure what to give their asses. Maybe we can call R. Kelly up. He can tell us what they should get.
I saw another side of him, the dark.
What do you mean, the backhand side?
The dark side. He would say, "You have to call me daddy." I wasn't free to walk around. If I wanted to use the restroom, I'd have to ask him. If I was hungry, I'd have to ask him.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you one of those people who use up all the damn toilet paper when you take a shit? Maybe that's why he wanted you to ask him to use the bathroom.
He came up once and grabbed me by my arm in the room and dragged me down the hallway because I talked back to him. I was kicking and screaming and crying.
Okay, were you paying the mortgage or the rent? You better know how to talk to people when you're in their house.
He told me to perform sexual acts while his friends were in the back seat and humiliated me in front of everyone.
No, I don't think that he humiliated you. I think that you humiliated yourself. I think that it was incumbent upon you to tell him no if you did not want to do that. When you decided that you were going to conform or submit to a person who makes that type of request, you're showing that you lack as much self-respect as that person lacks respect in you. So once again, brothers, please understand something. In this society, the woman is trained to always depict herself as the victim, no matter how much of a part she plays in her own humiliation. So do not marvel if the woman tries to turn on you. Of course, this is a very extreme example, or a relatively extreme example of the phenomena. But always be aware of the potentiality for anyone in your life, not just the woman, but anyone in your life, to try to make themselves out to be a victim if they need to make themselves feel better when they look in the mirror.
It was like he owned me.
He did own you. I have news for you. He did own you. And you were the one who gave him the deed to your body. So it is what it is.
He just said that he had something really special that he had been working on. This time I'm a senior in high school and I found out that I was pregnant. And a few days later, I had a miscarriage.
That's interesting. So you found out that you were pregnant, and then a few days later you had a miscarriage. Do you have any proof that you actually were pregnant? Did you show R. Kelly the pregnancy test, that it came out positive? Did he get to watch you take the pregnancy test to confirm that you were actually pregnant? For many younger brothers out there, hopefully you never encounter situations like this. But there are females who will allege that they're pregnant by you, especially if they feel like the relationship is slipping away, just to keep you around. Always keep that in mind.
When he wrote it, he was thinking of me. So then he played it and he called the song, "You Are Not Alone."
R. Kelly's downfall is going to be that he treats his music albums like they're his diary. Everything this nigga do, he got to make a song about it. Step in the kitchen, over by the stove, put the underage chick by the buttered rolls.
Tell me, what happened in the end? What was the final straw?
I caught mononucleosis from him.
Allegedly, you caught mononucleosis from him. You might have caught it from your other boyfriend in your local area. Because let's keep one thing in mind. The vast majority of these females who are on this documentary trying to lambaste R. Kelly, they had other men. They were just happy to be getting sex by R. Kelly. They were hoping to use him for some level of acclaim or fame, or just to play out their own little sex fantasy.
But my mono turned into Guillain-Barré, where my whole body was completely paralyzed. And I almost didn't make it. He sent my mother $1,000 check.
Damn, $1,000 check. What's that supposed to do?
I was in ICU for two and a half weeks. I almost died. He was nowhere to be found.
He's probably on tour.
My best friend was very angry and said that I should stop seeing him.
You mean the same best friend who pimped you out to him in the first place? That best friend?
You're just going there like you're like a prostitute, really.
She would know she's the pimp.
That hurt.
Who's your best friend? Bishop Don Magic Wand? I mean, what kind of bullshit is this?
That hurt. But it was the truth. All these things that I didn't want to be, I became.
That's normally what happens when you live life just doing whatever you feel like doing at the moment. When you live that Thelema lifestyle, you normally end up becoming the thing that you detest the most.
He stole my life from me.
Here we go, more self-victimization.
Being abused like this. And I don't think he understands girls that are young, how impressionable we are, and how...
You mean how silly you guys are? Impressionable is a very kind way of saying that girls are very silly. And that's what they are. That's why they have to be moderated. As a matter of fact, girls or women per se are silly well into their early to mid 40s.
How traumatic these experiences are. They change you forever.
I would agree with that. But I would have to ask, where were your parents? Why were you not informing them of what you were doing with a celebrity? But then again, you stated that your mother was aware that supposedly you caught mononucleosis from him. So clearly she was okay with it. Maybe she knew about the whole thing the whole time and was hoping that you'd be able to get a big windfall of cash from it. And maybe you did, and you're just not talking about it on TV. And that's the reason why you're on TV, because the checks have stopped.
I decided to walk away. I didn't want to be a victim anymore.
You decided to walk away because you did not want to be a victim anymore. Well, at least you're starting to take accountability, or at least you started to take accountability for what you were doing to yourself. But I don't think that you walked away. I think that R. Kelly, I think that he just got tired of acting like he was interested in you. And you realized that, you know, you had the wool pulled over your eyes and that contract was never coming. But anyway, brothers, that's basically it on episode 1 starring Miss Lizette Martinez. So peace.